I started Alight After after my very, very traumatic pregnancy journey. And I had issues with access to maternal care. And I live in Atlanta, like a really big city. That shouldn't be, right? Shouldn't. I also had issues just with finding mental health resources, payment for the amount of losses, and just a lot of issues, and really needed a lot of resources throughout that journey and advocacy that I did not have. So I started Light After Nine to help other women, birthers, and families through that process as well, so they wouldn't have to suffer the same issues that I did.
Yeah, that is so beautiful. And I'll say I'm so like honored that more and more strong women are coming out and sharing their story because I have so many friends that are starting to become such strong advocates in this space that I didn't see 10 or 20 years ago. My mother miscarried, and that is something we never spoke about in my family, but it impacted her for the rest of her life. So to see such strong women starting to really take back like that movement and to provide such comprehensive like resources is a really beautiful time to be alive.
Yeah,
Um,
it means so much because when you're vulnerable enough to have that conversation, you instill that vulnerability into other people. I had an aunt who had seven full term babies. So when she told me that, it did give me some power to tell my story.
yeah, I think it definitely snowballs. And there's so much strength in that and vulnerability in that. So again, thank you for doing really important work on this. So, your whole thing is that you fight like healthcare disparities, which is such an integral part of nursing, and you address issues for women of color, which I mean is such a big issue too. I've seen so many statistics about women of color being unsafe when they're having their babies and the complications that can arise, which for a woman not of color is so baffling to me and heartbreaking that these racial disparities still exist. Like, I believe that they still exist. It just is so heartbreaking that in, the United States, in the modern times, that people somehow are still slipping through the cracks and that like the maternal death rates are really high. And that's supposed to be such a special and beautiful time with those mothers. So that's really awesome that you're a woman of color really coming into this with such like a force and beauty to you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot going on that we need to address, and it really takes a village. So telling that story, also advocating, and then fighting this good fight is crucial.
Yeah, no, it really, really is. And I think like more awareness is needed before we can even like start to solve the problem.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I was not even aware as someone that is not of color. My experience is so much different than anyone else's that is of color. So I mean, I'm ignorant unless I'm told otherwise. So even like speaking about it is like the first step to that. So you're a nonprofit organization and you support women and families navigating the emotional as well as the physical challenge for like infertility and pregnancy loss. And I did a lot of research on your website, which was really beautifully done for anyone that's curious. It's a really good resource. It can connect you to a lot of other resources as well. One of the things that you guys do is grants,
Mhm.
outside grants, and I saw that you were working on providing maybe your own grant down the line.
Absolutely. We are working on providing our own grants. So we're looking for funding and working on getting funding. But we do make sure you are very much aware of all the other grants. There's so many, and people just don't know, including myself. I did not know about all of these fertility grants that I could have used because the amount of bills that I have from the hospital is just ridiculous. But we're also working on our own scholarship, which I will be providing within the next few days. I will be dropping that for those who are pursuing careers in maternal health because it's a shortage there too. And we really need people, or else how are we going to fight this crisis and get the treatment that we need?
Absolutely. I thought it was really interesting. One of the grant also includes adoption. So I thought that that
Yeah.
was really cool too. That you're like so over encompassing, not just like infertility and pregnancy loss, but also adoption. So it's really cool to see you just covering a whole wide range of populations.
Yeah, so adoption is still a part of our pregnancy journey if we choose to go that route. Sometimes us being pregnant naturally or on our own is a life or death situation, which if I was to get pregnant again, it will be a life or death situation, unfortunately, because of the aftermath of my journey. So we have to make sure our members know about all options, and that is still part of your pregnancy journey.
Of course. Thank you for telling me how it ties in. Yeah. So you also provide like educational resources. I was seeing like workshops, and topics like reporting unsafe situations in hospitals, which is huge because again, we can't fix what we don't know. Emotional resilience after loss, which is such a big one as well, and finding like reproductive specialists. So, and I think I saw a picture from one of your workshops. It looked like really, really happy and enlightening. Like everyone was like just really smiling and having a blast. Like it looks like a cool place that people would want to go and be a part of. So it seems like you're also building a really fun community around you because I feel like a lot of this is also like community and seeing
Yes.
yourself in those people around you.
Yes, the maternal health community is so small and big at the same time, and there's so many different type of issues that you can have throughout this journey, and it's just nice to have somebody who is going through that struggle and just to talk to. So one of our initiatives is the mom to mom mentorship, where you are paired with another mom and you can talk about that journey. Ideally, it's a mom who's been there, done that type of situation, or it could be a mom that you want who is going through that same struggle, and you guys can hold hands walking along that journey too. So it's we do a lot. And then as far as advocacy, I'm making sure I educate these members on how to advocate for themselves. There were so many times, and I'm a nurse, right? I'm a trauma nurse, I'm an OR educator, all these things. But when I started my pregnancy journey, I had no experience with maternal health. So I couldn't advocate for myself because I didn't have the education. So we're making sure that these members have the education they need to speak up for themselves.